the spark to your success. Fantastic tools to manage negativity and build resilience. Written by Teejay, published by Level Audiobook. Chapter 1. Introduction. As a teenager, or simply someone young at heart, life throws you challenges, but here's the truth. You're not alone, and you're not the first or last to face them. William Barclay once said, there are two great days in a person's life: the day we are born and the day we discover why. That second day, or discovering your why, is what this journey is about. There are two things you can be sure of in life. Crap will hit the fan. You have a choice in how you react. Let's add a third. If your choice is positive and well thought out, you'll grow stronger and more resilient. Here's the bottom line. You're in the driver's seat of your life. You'll face wins and losses, and it's on you to decide how to respond. Not your parents, not your friends. You. This book is here to guide you. It's split into 3 sections: understanding teen issues and where they come from, exploring what's going on in your head and how to build resilience, finding your fuel and flow, the things that make you magnificent. You might be thinking, I don't know what to do. I'm already struggling. Where is this awesomeness everyone keeps talking about? Relax. That's why this book exists. I've helped thousands of young people already, and my mission is to help millions more feel confident, strong, and happy being themselves. Let's start this journey. You'll learn how to bounce back from setbacks, grab hold of opportunities, and build the confidence you need to thrive. You'll relate to some stories and maybe even feel triggered by others, and that's okay. You are allowed to feel. Just remember this: the past is done. You can't change it, and you don't need to carry it. We'll build your shield, that's your own mental and emotional armor, so you can face the world unapologetically you. Think of your favorite superhero. They each have something unique. Guess what? So do you. You don't need laser vision or super strength. You just need to embrace your own power. And if you need help, ask for it. That's not weakness, that's strength. When you feel good in your own skin and live your life on purpose, you've found your fuel and your flow. That's where your spark begins. To make the most of this journey, you'll need a pen or pencil, a notebook or journal, some post-it notes or scrap paper, a highlighter, and a camera or photos of memories. Notice, no phone or laptop required. Handwriting connects you to your thoughts. It slows you down and helps you reflect. This isn't just a book, it's a hands-on, real-life guide. So are you ready to feel magnificent? Let's get started. Chapter 2. Live life so it rocks. First, I'd like to start off with a short story about life that I think you'll relate to. Even at your tender age, it's a powerful story because it illustrates so well the pressure of life and how, before you know it, you can become bogged down with unnecessary stuff, emotional and physical. This is a story about rocks. A walk in the park. I recently took a trip to the local park to collect rocks for my local youth club in preparation for a creative painting session. My backpack was light, and I had all the time in the world. The morning was beautiful with the sun gazing down on me as the birds tweeted in the trees. I was looking for a specific size of rock, but as I pottered around grassy pathways, my mind wandering, I started to pick up small pebbles. They weren't exactly what I was after, but I thought they might come in handy if I couldn't find my ideal rock. So in the backpack they went, deviating off track. At some point during my ramble, I have no idea when, I'd gone off track and now stood in a glorious glade full of stunningly colourful flowers. The scene was fabulous, very inspiring, but I had no idea how I had got there or how much time I'd lost. I breathed in the sweet air for a moment, then backtracked until I found my original pathway. By this time, I could feel the strain of my backpack and a dull ache making its presence known on my shoulder. Within a few minutes, I turned a corner, and woohoo! There lay a jackpot of rocky rubble ahead. I bounded over excitedly and crammed half a dozen rocks into my backpack. If I'm honest, a couple were too big, but I bagged them anyway before moving on. My backpack was now getting really heavy, and I felt hot and bothered. It weighed a ton, and I could have done with offloading a few rocks that weren't ideal, but I thought they might still come in handy for the future, so held on to them. The hefty weight was stretching the backpack handles, and my back was also starting to hurt. A great metaphor for life. You might be wondering why I'm telling you a story about carrying rocks. Well, it's a great metaphor for life. Simple. When you start off on a journey, everything is as light as a feather, and you feel fabulous because you have a purpose. Then you get sidetracked and start to pick up baggage that you don't really need, but you think might come in handy somewhere. This adds extra and often unnecessary pressure in some areas of your life, both mental and physical, yet you continue your journey unwittingly or wittingly, knowing that these pressures can be damaging. What unnecessary baggage are you carrying? Think about this question and this story as you delve deeper into the book. Take a long look at your life as it stands today. What are you doing, saying, or feeling that you don't really need to be doing, saying, or feeling? What would happen if you stopped and offloaded this extra stuff that is weighing you down? You might have a couple of peers that you would rather not have in your life. Maybe you go to an after-school class that you don't really enjoy, but you do it to please your parents. It could just be that you are a people pleaser and you don't like to let people down, so you have a full calendar of outings because you struggle to say no when all you really want to do is curl up in the privacy of your own room with a good book. If you got rid of these additional burdens, think how much lighter you would feel. Imagine the extra room you would have created in your life to do the things that bring you more value and enjoyment. Everyone falls victim to this, but recognizing the signs so that you can make the change is key. Draw up a list of things that you feel hold you back or drag you back, and think about how you can offload them. Unload, repack, and carry on. This book will give you tools to lighten your load, to plan, and to work smarter, not harder. It will introduce you to ways of creating an agile and stress-free life by equipping you with the techniques needed to overcome carrying unnecessary rocks because of the fear of missing out. If you feel fulfilled, you'll never miss out on anything. Try painting rocks. Oh, and I recommend that you try painting rocks. It's hugely therapeutic and extremely creative. Find a few big pebbles, some acrylic paints, and Google ideas for rock painting designs. You will find tons of really cool pictures of quirky images, animals, patterns, and written messages. If you enjoy it, why not paint more than you want for yourself and leave them in your village, town, or the local park for other people to discover and enjoy? Tracking painted rocks actually is a thing you know. Share your journey with others. What I would love more than anything is for you to share your thoughts and stories as you read this book. We all want to help each other and feel supported along the way. You can learn from others and combine experiences so that the tools and techniques develop further. Chapter 3. Pressures of a typical teen life. You were given this life because you are strong enough to live it. Ai Ninesis. Let's be honest, life throws stuff at us all the time. And I'm not talking about people dropping crisp packets and pop bottles on the pavement. I'm talking about the real obstacles, emotional hurdles, setbacks, and moments that knock you sideways. That's life, right? Boom, it just hits. And sometimes it feels like you're the only one going through it. But let me tell you something important, you're not. Every single person around you is fighting battles you can't see. If someone tells you they're not feeling any pressure, they're either lying or pretending to be tougher than they really are. Now, if you're a teenager in the 2020s, you're carrying more weight than ever. You've got school stress, family expectations, social pressure. Add to that the constant online noise, likes, follows, snap streaks, and group chats. It's a lot. Honestly, I admire your generation. When I was your age, we didn't even have mobile phones. Everyone has pressure. It's not a competition. What matters is how you respond to it, how you cope, how you adapt, how you bounce back. Let's talk about that moment. Say, standing up in front of your class to speak. Your leg won't stop shaking, you're sweaty, your stomach's in knots. You're thinking, what if I mess up? What if I forget my words? What if someone laughs or makes fun of me? Sound familiar? Maybe that's not your exact fear. But everyone has something. Exams, interviews, friendship drama, parents arguing, a fallout with your sibling. It's all pressure. So here's what you need to do. Start by paying attention to how you feel, feeling scared, sad, anxious, or angry. That's normal. These emotions don't make you weak, they make you human, but emotions can make us act fast, sometimes too fast. We snap, we run, we shut down. That's why it's important to pause and think before reacting. Each time you face pressure and come out the other side, you get a little stronger, a little more confident. Now let's talk physical symptoms. Pressure isn't just in your mind, it shows up in your body. Headaches, sleepless nights, skin breakouts, tummy aches, racing heart. That's your body's way of saying, hey, I'm stressed. It's called the fight or flight response. It's totally natural, but not meant to last forever. So what do you do when pressure builds up? You get off the pressure train, because if you don't, it can lead to burnouts, anxiety, depression, and even suicidal thoughts. And no one wants to get to that place. Here's how you start coping. First, breathe. Don't rush your reactions. Ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen? What's the best that could happen? Then find the balance. Don't overthink to the point where you do nothing. Talk to someone. Holding in stress is like shaking a bottle of fizzy pop. Eventually it bursts. Speak to people who support you, who make you feel better, not worse. And here's a golden tip. Keep a journal. Write about what's going on in your head, what you're facing, how you're handling it. Your own notes can become your guidebook, your armor, because that's what this is really about, building your resilience. That's your inner strength, your bounce-back ability, your power to face pressure and keep going. As Aristotle said, good habits formed at youth make all the difference. So here's your reminder. Yes, life is hard. Yes, pressure is real, but so is your strength. And you're probably doing far better than you think you are. Chapter 4. Feeling overwhelmed. Our greatest battles are with our minds. Jameson, Frank. Growing up is all about discovering who you are and what your purpose is. You're in a stage of life where you're expected to make big decisions about your future, your values, your career, and more. But here's the truth. Clarity doesn't come instantly. It comes through experience, through your wins, and yes, even through your mistakes. So allow yourself to ask questions, be curious, be open, and above all, don't forget to enjoy yourself along the way. Let's talk about something we all face, feeling overwhelmed. It happens to everyone, but it's more than just having too much homework or a packed schedule. Feeling overwhelmed is like being caught in a flood. You're swamped, submerged, and it feels like nothing's in your control. Sometimes it's not just the tasks that get to you, it's the emotions, guilt, fear, uncertainty. When these feelings hit, it's easy to freeze and feel like doing nothing is the only option, but doing nothing only makes it worse. When we feel overwhelmed, it's usually because we've lost our sense of control. Think back to a time when you felt completely out of your depth. Maybe it was a subject you didn't understand or a responsibility you didn't feel ready for. What caused that feeling? Was it something you avoided or something that someone else did that left you hanging? Understanding where that feeling came from is the first step to moving forward. Now think about something that's worrying you today. What's the real issue behind the stress? What's the one thing that's bugging you or leaving you uncertain? If you could write your own ending to this situation, a happy one, what would that look like? How would it feel? Is this thing within your control? If it is, great. You've got power here. Think of 5 things you can do to prepare. It might be gathering information, planning steps, asking questions, or just organizing your thoughts. When you prepare, you shrink the fear of the unknown. But sometimes, no matter what you do, you won't be able to control everything. And that's okay. What you can control is the story you tell yourself about the situation. Let's say you're starting somewhere new, a school, job, or even just a new class. Maybe you're worried you won't fit in, but what if, instead, you stand out for all the right reasons? What if you meet someone just like you, and together you find your place? The way you frame your thoughts has a massive impact on how you feel. Choose a perspective that empowers you. Also remember this, you don't need to be Superman or Superwoman to do amazing things. Perfection is a myth. You don't have to say yes to everything or please everyone, and you definitely don't need to overthink every decision. Recognizing these patterns in yourself is a powerful step toward change. Now, here's something many of us struggle with, asking for help. You might think it's a sign of weakness, but it's not. It's actually a strength. People often feel honored to help. It makes them feel valued. So the next time you feel overwhelmed, ask yourself, does this have to be me? If not, who can support you? Friends, teachers, parents, mentors. You don't have to go it alone. Here are 4 simple, fun ways to pull yourself out of that overwhelmed headspace. First, break the task down into smaller chunks. Use a sheet of paper. Draw 5 clouds or buckets and write one big task in each. That's it. Now you don't have a mountain, just a few manageable hills. Second, pick just one of those tasks and focus on it for an hour. Don't multitask. Whether it's the easiest, the most urgent, or even the most fun, just get started. Third, set a timer for 5 minutes and brainstorm everything you need to do for that one task. Don't organize it yet, just let the ideas flow. Then spend another few minutes organizing your list into a logical order. Add time estimates and give yourself a buffer. We always underestimate how long things will take, and that's okay. Most importantly, celebrate every win. Finish a task, reward yourself. Maybe it's your favorite snack, a walk outside, some time with friends, or a break doing something you love. You are human. Nobody's perfect. And that's the whole point. You don't need superpowers to be remarkable. You don't need to be perfect to be successful. You just need to take the next step, even a small one, and believe that you can handle what's in front of you, because you can. Chapter 5. Your driving force. Having needs is not evidence of weakness. It is human. Danielle Bernach. We ended the last chapter talking about looking after yourself. That leads us to something powerful, something that drives everything you do, whether you realize it or not. The 6 essential human needs. These needs are universal. Everybody has them. Everybody lives by them. The first 4 are fundamental. You must meet them to function in life. The last 2? They take you beyond survival to true fulfillment. So where did this concept come from? A man named Tony Robbins, a renowned life coach and business strategist, developed this framework after years of research and working with people from all walks of life. No matter where you're from, what you believe, or how you live, the same 6 needs show up in everyone. By understanding them, you begin to see what drives your decisions, your behaviors, and even your emotions. And here's the key. If these needs are met positively and in balance, you thrive. But if they're met in a negative or extreme way, your well-being and your relationships can suffer. So let's explore my first 2 needs, which are opposites yet equally essential. Need 1, certainty. Certainty is your need for safety, stability, and comfort. It's the sense of knowing what to expect, that tomorrow won't be chaos, that your world is predictable enough to feel secure. It's defined as assurance that you can avoid pain and gain pleasure. Think about a time when you knew exactly what was going to happen. Maybe you were going to meet someone, attend an event, or complete a task you'd done 100 times before. How did that feel? Calm, confident, in control? Now contrast that with a time when everything felt uncertain, where you had no idea what was going to happen next. Stressful, right? Certainty gives us routine, peace, and the ability to plan. But too much certainty? That brings us to need 2, uncertainty or variety. As much as we crave predictability, we also need excitement, change, challenges, and even a little bit of surprise. Without it, life becomes dull. Uncertainty is defined as the need for the unknown, for change, and an excited sense of anticipation. Think about the last time you looked forward to something. Maybe a holiday, a new opportunity, or even a surprise gift. You weren't sure what would happen, but you were excited, right? That's healthy uncertainty. It keeps us energized and growing. But too much of it, especially when we feel powerless, that can spiral into stress and anxiety. Imagine visiting the doctor for something minor. They say, just in case, let's do some tests. Suddenly you're home, waiting, and your mind starts racing. What if it's serious? Will I need surgery? What if I miss school? What if it's something worse? Without facts, the mind can run wild. That's the danger of unmanaged uncertainty. So ask yourself, have you ever faced a situation with so many unknowns that it left you overwhelmed? Did it remind you of any moment where you felt totally out of control? Take a moment to reflect. Make a note. These are clues to how you personally respond to uncertainty. Now here's the balance. You need both certainty and uncertainty in life. Too much of either, and things fall apart. But just the right mix? That's where strength, stability, and joy live. Hopefully, by now you're starting to see the logic behind this framework, how these needs shape the choices you make and the feelings you carry. I'll leave you with this quote. Within the nature of every person is a desire to feel appreciated, to feel needed, and to be loved. Ellen J. Barrier, and that's where we'll head next. To the next two human needs that speak directly to connection and significance. Chapter 6. Your Significance and Connection. Today we're exploring two essential human needs that shape not just our personalities, but our happiness, success, and sense of fulfillment, connection and significance. Let's begin with a simple truth. We all want to be successful and happy in life. And while those two things look different for everyone, one thing remains the same. Your path to success and happiness is shaped by what you thrive on and what you don't. Through life's ups and downs, through moments of certainty and uncertainty, we start to understand ourselves better. These experiences reveal what we need as human beings. Two of those core needs are especially achievement-focused. Need 3, connection. The need for love and belonging. As humans, we were never meant to be alone. We are wired for love, connection, and community. The definition of connection? A strong feeling of closeness or union with someone or something. A solitary life is rarely a happy one. Studies have shown time and again that when people feel completely alone and believe that no one cares for them, their mental health suffers deeply. In extreme cases, people even take their own lives due to a profound sense of isolation. This is not just a nice to have, this is a critical need. Connection can come in many forms: friends, family, teachers, mentors, colleagues, even online communities or social groups. These positive relationships grow from shared interests, mutual respect, and the joy of simply being understood. Now pause and think for a moment. Can you recall a time when you thoroughly enjoyed being with someone or a group of people? Who were they? What were you doing? Are you still close now? What drew you to them in the first place? Maybe you're part of a community group or a social media forum. What topics bring you back? What's your favorite way to connect? Even if you're someone who enjoys solitude or doesn't naturally gravitate toward large groups, you still need connection. We all do. But we also need balance. Need for significance, the need to feel important and unique. Each of us is an individual, and as individuals we have a need to feel significant. Significance means feeling unique, important, special, or needed. There will be moments in life when you pull back from the world, not because you dislike connection, but because you're seeking clarity. You're searching for your purpose, your voice, and your worth. This search might take the form of academic study, creative exploration, or involvement in causes like science, art, politics, or environmental action. You may express your significance through how you dress, how you speak, or the way you write, draw, sing, or move. Now reflect. Have you ever felt the need to step away from a personal situation just to be alone? What caused that feeling? Was something missing, or too much of something present? Was there more to the situation you didn't yet understand? These questions matter because significance and connection are in tension with each other. If you focus only on being special, you may struggle to connect deeply with others. But if you lose yourself in trying to fit in, you might forget what makes you you. It's a delicate balance, and you're not alone in walking that line. In closing, as Harvey Fierstein once said, never be bullied into silence. Never allow yourself to be made a victim. Accept no one's definition of your life, but define yourself. Remember, your need to connect is just as important as your need to express your individuality. They're not opposites, they're parts of a whole. A balanced life honors both. Chapter 7. Your growth and contribution. Today, we're diving into the final two human needs, the ones that go beyond survival and success. These are the needs of your spirit, the ones that give your life meaning, purpose, and fulfillment. Let's start with Need 5, growth. Now, I get it, you might be thinking, growth, learning, I can't stand school. But let's be real, forget school for a second. Let's talk about your curiosity. What do you choose to learn about? Maybe it's a book you can't put down, a game you're obsessed with, a podcast you never miss, or a YouTube rabbit hole you fall into at 2 a.m. That spark of curiosity, that's your inner drive to grow. We all have it. It's wired into us. When we grow, whether it's through learning something new, developing a skill, or chasing a new experience, we expand, we level up. And if we're not growing, we're shrinking, we're losing that spark, and life starts to feel a little less worth living. Think about the last time you learned something that actually excited you. What gave you that buzz? Why do you think it mattered to you? Growth isn't just about school or work. It's about becoming more of who you're meant to be. And the amazing thing, you grow most when you stretch yourself. Try something new, make mistakes, keep going. Every single day is a chance to grow. Now let's talk about Need 6, contribution. This one's powerful. It's about giving your time, your energy, your skills, not for your own gain, but for someone else's benefit. Contribution could be something big, volunteering at a shelter, helping a neighbor, or something small like just listening to someone who needs it. It's about showing up, not because you have to, but because you choose to. Why does contribution matter so much? Because when you give, you feel fulfilled. You realize your life is part of something bigger. And ironically, by helping others meet their needs, you end up meeting your own in a much deeper way. So think, when's the last time you helped someone? Not for credit, not for praise, just to help. What pulled you in? How did it make you feel afterward? Here's the thing, contribution builds connection. It makes people feel seen, valued, and supported. And when you live from that place, you're not just existing, you're making an impact. But remember this, you can only truly grow and contribute if the other four needs, certainty, variety, significance, and love, connection, are balanced first. If you're running on empty, it's hard to give to others or invest in yourself. So here's your challenge for the week. 1. Find something new to learn. It could be an online course, a hobby, a sport, anything that excites your curiosity. Stretch yourself. Find a way to give back. Help a sibling, support a local cause, or simply be there for someone who needs a hand. And then reflect. Journal about it. What did you learn? How did you feel while giving? What surprised you? Chances are you'll feel more alive, more connected, and more purposeful, because that's what the needs of growth and contribution do. They remind you life isn't just about getting, it's about becoming and giving. Now go stretch yourself and give something back. You've got this. Chapter 8. Negative behavior if needs aren't being met. Life is full of surprises, not all of them are pleasant, so we need to be ready for what life throws at us. This quote highlights something important. We all have needs that drive our behavior. And when we don't meet those needs in healthy ways, it's easy, far too easy, to slip into negative behaviors. But why does this happen? We all share 6 basic human needs: certainty, variety, significance, connection, growth, and contribution. These needs aren't wants, they're essentials. But here's where it gets tricky. We don't all value them the same. One or two will always dominate, shaping how we make decisions, how we build relationships, and how we live. Let's take an everyday example: food. We all need it to survive. You might love preparing healthy meals at home, making food an experience of creativity and nourishment. But your best friend, they might hit a fast food drive-through 5 times a week. Why? Because fast food delivers instant certainty. No cooking, no prep, no effort, just fuel in minutes. Is it logical in the long run? Number. But in the moment, it meets a need quickly. That's the thing about negative behaviors. They often feel easier and faster. Fast food meets the need for certainty. Social media likes meet the need for connection. A shopping spree might meet the need for significance. These actions aren't inherently bad, but when they become habits, especially when they replace deeper, healthier ways to meet our needs, they can become damaging. Sometimes we don't just undervalue one need, we overvalue another. Think about the need for connection. If someone is feeling down, they might post about their struggles online. The responses roll in: likes, messages, attention, and suddenly they feel loved, seen, important. It works. It meets their needs for connection, certainty, even variety and significance. But what happens if they start relying on that pattern to feel okay? They might unconsciously repeat negative experiences to get that same emotional response. This is how poor coping strategies and even addictions begin. Now here's where the real battle happens, in the unconscious mind. If you're constantly telling yourself things like, "I can't," "It's too hard," or "What's the point?" your brain will search for the easiest way to feel better. Unfortunately, that easy way is often negative. That's why it's useful to rate your life areas on a scale of 1 to 10. If something's a 10, amazing, but if it's a 4, 5, or 6, you're probably just comfortable enough to avoid change. It's the low scores, 3 and below, where you're more likely to say, enough is enough, and do something about it. But wouldn't it be better to be proactive before you hit rock bottom? Everyone is at risk of falling into negative behaviors. Yes, everyone. You might think you're balanced and in control, but even positive habits can go too far. A gym routine can become obsessive. A strict diet can turn into disordered eating. Even self-improvement can become a trap if you're chasing perfection to feel worthy. When a behavior, positive or negative, meets multiple needs at a high level, it can become addictive. So what can we do? First, become aware. The more conscious you are of your choices, the more power you have to shape them. Second, build resilience. Life will throw challenges your way. It's not if, but when. Strengthen your ability to bounce back by staying positive, nurturing your confidence, and keeping your values at the forefront. Finally, remember this: people are not their behaviors. The behavior is just an outward expression of an unmet need, so love the person but help change the behavior. And always remember, life is full of unexpected things, but it's hard to beat a person who never gives up. Chapter 9. Your daily 60,000 thoughts. In the last few chapters, we explored our core needs and what can happen when they're out of balance. But now let's shift gears and dive into the really good stuff. The tools and insights that help you keep life balanced, meaningful, and in your control. Let me start with a question. Have you ever felt like your thoughts were running the show? Here's a mind-blowing fact. The average person has about 60,000 thoughts a day. Even more shocking? You're repeating most of the same ones day after day. If those thoughts are negative, it can be exhausting, even dangerous. But the great news is, you're not stuck with them. You can choose how you think, and that makes you more resilient, and frankly, a lot more enjoyable to be around. Transition. Inviting tone. Let's break this down. Every day, things happen around you. These events, whether it's a conversation at home, a moment in class, or something bigger in the world, start out completely neutral. They're just events. They didn't come from your mind, not yet anyway, But the moment you see, hear, or sense that event, your brain kicks in, and in milliseconds you assign a meaning to it. You filter the experience through everything you've ever been through, your past, your values, your culture, your habits, and suddenly you've created an internal version of the outside world. That's where your feelings come from, and your feelings drive your behavior. What example? Relatable tone. Let's say you sat an English exam and you hadn't read the book. The result? Probably not great. You can't blame the test. You'd need to rethink how you prepared, how you felt, and what the whole thing meant to you. Meaning, feeling, behavior, outcome. So if you want a different outcome, start by changing the meaning. Bridge, calm, insightful tone. This is where things get powerful. Most of us don't realize how much of our behavior is shaped by unconscious thoughts, those internal filters working 24/7 behind the scenes. Your unconscious mind handles millions of bits of information per second. Meanwhile, your conscious mind can only handle a few. Your unconscious simplifies the overload by deleting, distorting, and generalizing. Well, and that's helpful, but it also means your version of reality is filtered and subjective. And because of that, two people can experience the same event and react completely differently. It's not about the event, it's about the story you tell yourself tongue about that event. Reframe, inspiring tone. Here's the exciting part. Your brain is changeable. Through something called neuroplasticity, you can actually rewire how you think, feel, and react. Yes, your thought patterns are habits, but habits can be changed. Think of it like this. If your mind is running on an old operating system, like Windows 7, maybe it's time for an upgrade to Windows 10. Or better yet, something brand new built for you. Call to action, reflective tone. Start tuning into your inner voice. Ask yourself, what meaning did I give this situation? Is that meaning really true? Could it mean something else? Because when you change the meaning, you can change the feeling. And when you do that, you can change the way you act. And ultimately, the result you get. Before we finish, take a moment. Think of two recent events, one with a great outcome and one that didn't go so well. Ask yourself, what was different between them? How did I react? Who else was involved? What past experiences played a role? That reflection is where your power lies. Sit close, warm, and empowering. Your thoughts are not just noise. They are the foundation of your reality. So if you want to feel better, live better, and connect more deeply with others, start with the story you tell yourself. As Katori Hall beautifully said, follow your intuition, listen to your dreams, your inner voice to guide you. Keep going, you've got this. Chapter 10. What is your internal representation? Have you ever stopped to think about just how much is going on around you every single day? The people you meet, the decisions you make, the subjects you learn, the emotions you feel. All of this is shaped by the 2 to 4 million bits of information your brain processes each second, yet your conscious mind only handles around 134 bits of that. So how does it all work? The truth is, you never experience reality directly. What you experience is filtered by your brain, your memories, your beliefs, your emotions. This process is known as your internal representation, or IR. IR is how your brain takes the massive wave of data coming in from the world, reduces it, gives it meaning, attaches emotion, and creates a reaction. It's a representation of reality, filtered through your own unique lens. And here's the fascinating part. That lens is different for everyone. Think about a time when you and a friend reacted completely differently to the same situation. Maybe you were excited to speak in front of a group, but your friend was terrified. Or you loved a certain TV show while someone else rolled their eyes. That's your IR at work. It's the reason no two people ever experience the same moment in exactly the same way. We each have our own set of filters, shaped by our past, our beliefs, our language, and our values. Let's also revisit a powerful idea: the difference between your two minds. Your conscious mind is logical, rational, and likes to believe it's in charge. But in reality, it only uses about 10% of your brain's power. Your unconscious mind? That's the real powerhouse. It's always on. It's filtering information, running your body, storing your memories, and keeping you safe, even while you sleep. It's responsible for your instincts, habits, and automatic reactions. This is the part of your mind that helps you rest, heal, and process your day long after your conscious thoughts have checked out for the night. So when we talk about managing information or understanding our reactions, we're really talking about becoming more aware of how our internal filters shape our external world. Let me leave you with this. Take a moment to think of a situation where you saw or felt something completely differently from someone close to you. Ask yourself, what was the situation? How did it make you feel? Why do you think your reaction was different? What filter could be shaping your response? These reflections help you understand your IR and, in turn, give you more control over how you perceive and respond to the world. Because once you understand how powerful your unconscious mind is and how unique your perception of reality really is, you can start to shape your world from the inside out. Thanks for listening.